What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin, aka No Good Comics. I'm rocking out here on a Saturday, and it is time for Comic Collector Origins, episode 73. Man, oh man, we're moving and grooving here with these episodes, and it's been a lot of fun. I took off last week because of Comic-Con, King Con that happened last week over here in Jersey, and so I was kind of, having some fun over there, hanging out with some of the community members. But I am back with a new episode, Comic Collector Origins. And if you're new, welcome. First of all, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, smash that like button. We are, this show is all about the community. It's where I interview friends that I've met through this community, whether it be on Instagram or YouTube, and I bring them on the show to talk to them about their origin story. We always talk about origin stories of superheroes and villains and things like that. So I figure, why not flip it? Talk to the collectors about how they got into this. And so that's what this show is all about. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna take this music out. I've been rocking out here, but I'm really excited for my guests, because I think there are, how do I put this, very few people that I feel have the same level of energy as I throw out there. And this particular guest of mine that I'm having on here today, I feel like 100% outdoes me in the energy. And that's what I love so much, just from when I first met her, through YouTube and Instagram, and really, getting that energy, because it's contagious, right? It's contagious. And I feel like that's the kind of crowd I want to be around. Those, positive vibes, high energy, excitement, and obviously passion about the books, passion about reading, passion about this community of great folks that we have in this community. Just enjoying this hobby all around. So of course, I am talking about my good friend Q, aka JRails247 from over on Instagram. Let me bring her in right now. Q, what is going on?
Hi,
Justin. Hey. How you doing?
I am fantastic. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited. Yes. Oh my God.
And you got my memo. We got matching yellow shirts. So appreciate that.
That's the first thing I saw. I was like, we both have one yellow. Oh, we were vibing this morning when we were getting dressed.
Heck yeah. Absolutely. So Q, I mean it. Like, I love your energy. I love what you put into the videos, the content that you put out there. Also, just like the positive vibes. I know you and Prime, like, all the positivity and the energy that you put out in general is something that really caught my attention for you kind of jumping into this community. And I also want to give a shout out to Sheena, because Sheena was the one who initially told me about you. She was just starting to share your stories, messaging people and she told me, like, hey, support my friend Q, check her out. And so I immediately did that. Anyone that's good with Sheena is good with me. So I went and checked out your YouTube channel. Obviously, you started doing a lot of awesome things with lives and talking about comics, things like that. And then, of course, you got together with some of the women in the community and started kicking off a bunch of shows, including Saga, so I had to represent some Saga, So I love what you guys were doing, and just you've just been continuing it from there. You have your fun lunch shows that you do from time to time, a bunch of stuff on Instagram. So I just appreciate you and appreciate what you do for this community and the passion that you have for this hobby. So I thank you for being here on this show.
I thank you, Justin, for all your wonderful energy. Every time you step into the chat, it's like everybody stops in awe. We go, Justin. Oh my God. And Legos and all that great stuff. So thank you for the invite. You are obviously a very highly regarded member of this community, so it is a high honor to even be on the stage with you. So thank you.
Oh no, yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to this, because I want to get to know more details on how you came into this hobby. How long you've been into it for. I know you're a fellow New Jerseyan, as we talk about from time to time. I know you're a bit down south compared to where I am, but I'm sure at some point we'll run into each other at some point here at one of these, Comic-Cons or things like that. But before we get into the questions and all the fun stuff, let's say a quick hello to the chat, because I see we got some people hanging out with us right now. And by the way, for those, whether you're here right now or if you're just joining in or watching the replay, if you're not following Q, if you're not already connected with her, make sure you do so. I put her information in the description below, both her Instagram and her YouTube channel. So make sure that you are subbed up and definitely check out content and reach out to Q, because Q, much like myself, is a reader of comics. And so if you like to talk about comics you read, then Q is the person for you. So let's say a quick hello to the chat here. And of course, right off the bat, my man, Freaky Louie in the house. What's going on, brother? Station to you, my friend. We got Steve Hip Hops and me from the Team Nerd Herd podcast. Good to see you, Steve. Look at you, Q. You're doing double duty right now in the chat as well. Killing it. I love it. Let's see. We got Prime Mega in the house as well. Good to see you, Prime. We got Michelle, Moonlit Comics. What's going on, Michelle? Great to see you. We got Inja Binja also hanging out. Look at all the love that you're getting right now. Love it. I was just streaming with the two of them, Moonlit and Inja, over on Moonlit's channel. We were talking Philadelphia earlier this week. Had a lot of fun with Azores and Frank. That was a lot of fun. We got Big Herminio in the house. Station. Big Herm. My good friend Candace also with me here today. What's going on, Candace? We were just talking some Legos earlier. Good to see you as always, Candace. Let's see. We're scrolling through, see people saying hi to people. We got Brandon Comics Kings in the house saying hey yo. We got my man Puff Comics also hanging out saying hello to everybody. What's going on, Puff? Heck yeah. I was just seeing one of his videos yesterday premiering. He's always putting out hot content as well. Brother John also hanging out with us. Good to see you, Brother John. Let's see, scrolling through. We got Lass Ketchum hanging out with us here today. What's going on, Lass? Thank you so much. We got Anika also hanging with us. The Fresh Princess hanging. What is up? That's my
girl. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Absolutely. Let's see, scrolling through. More love, more hearts. We got James Phelps in the house. What's going on, James? Good to see you, my friend. Let's see, scrolling through there. Speaking of, we just mentioned him before, Azores Tiger, my man Eric, hanging out in the chat as well. Appreciate your brother. We got my man Something Wong hanging out saying, hey now.
Cupcakes.
Hey now. My man. I got to meet Wong last year over at the Baltimore Comic-Con, and it was really cool to finally put a face to a name. And he's always been the man behind the curtain kind of deal. So Wong, it's always good to see you, brother.
The vice president of relations.
There you go. There's Sheena. We were just talking about HK Wifey. Good to see you, Sheena. I'm just giving you a shout out earlier. Let's see. I see. Think I'm getting through everybody. Oh, of course, gotta say hi. Philly Phil in the house. I know you and Phil were just streaming the other day over on Instagram, so I love that.
That's
great
the
stuff
homie.
there.
Oh my god,
Phil is awesome. Phil's awesome. I know Phil from claim sales from like back when the pandemic first started. I remember he and I would hang out on like some Instagram live sales and just chat and claim books and hang out. So Phil's a good dude, man.
He is.
Let's see. People scrolling through saying hello. Sheena's dropping links. Appreciate that, Sheena. Like I said, make sure you are subbed up to Q here if you're not already. I put her information in the description below, or the links are there where Sheena's dropping as well. Let's see. I think I got everyone at the moment. Oh, wait. We got my man Joker. What's going on, Joker? Just saw him last weekend when I was over at King Con hanging out there. He was set up with the booth with Erod. So Joker, always a pleasure. Let's see. And my man VP in the house saying, hey, peeps. What's going on, VP? Oh, and I want to give a shout out to, did I catch TM before? Station TM, if I missed you. What's going on, TM? Always good to see you. And I want to shout out my man Michael, a.k.a. Sove Collector. I know he's watching right now. I don't know if he's necessarily in the chat. He was driving. He's got like an hour drive. He's going to a signing of Ron Garney, I think. So if you're listening, Sove, shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you always. He's always tuning into these, even if he's out shopping or anything. He's dedicated to the show. So appreciate you, Michael. And got my girl here, Shy Comic Girl in the house, Haley. What's going on, Haley?
Crush. My new girl crush.
Heck yeah. She's the best. She's the best. All right. I think I got everybody at the moment, 22 of you. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you're watching this replay right now, thank you for doing that. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to Q if you're not already. Her information is in the description below. But Q, let's get into this. I got a lot of questions for you, and so we'll dive right in. And I promise, nothing too hard. I am going to start though with just asking you the simple question of kind of where did this hobby start for you? From whether it was from a reading aspect or maybe you fell in love with characters based on the movies or the cartoons back in the day, or maybe it's something newer to you. I'm just curious, kind of, how old were you when you first got into this hobby, and what was your environment like? Who did you have around you? Were there any friends or family that influenced you to get into this hobby, or what did that look like for you?
Okay. All right. So I want to give the biggest shout out to my grandma. She's not here anymore, but
Mm,
she was the queen of my world, my first best friend. And I was with her a lot throughout my whole childhood. And I remember my first experience with a comic book was we had a blackout.
mm,
So it was like lights out, no power. Had to go old school, pull out some candles and stuff like that. And I'm a little
yeah.
kid, and I'm just like, oh my god, no TV! Ah! And she's like, "Girl, read this." And it was an Archie comic,
Oh,
not
okay.
Riverdale, not Riverdale.
Okay. Okay.
Traditional old school Archie. I had never seen it. I don't even know where she, made this manifest from. But she gave me this Archie comic, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was lame. I mean, but but it kept, as a little kid who was like bouncing around all over the place, it kept my interest at least for an hour or so. So,
Mm,
I mean, right there, I would say that was the seed in my
wow.
mind. Just like, just the people on the page, and just, I don't know, it was just something about that moment in the dark with the candles, with my grandma, with this Archie comic, something that she loved to read. So I'm
Mhm.
guessing she had been holding it for a long time, and just her passing that to me was like the seed that bloomed later on. So
Yeah.
later on, when I was much over 21 years old, Prime, my original homie from forever, I had been going through some things, as we all do.
Mhm.
And he came in one day and he was like, "Here, read this. This will make you feel better." Because he knows me. I
Oh.
love medieval stuff. I love mayhem. I love monsters. I love all that craziness. And he handed me a Thor comic. I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
know anything about Thor or Avengers or any of that stuff. He was like, "This will make you feel better." And it was like the perfect trifecta of what I needed to, like, for some reason, spark something inside of me to
Yeah.
like reawaken. As a young adult transitioning into adulthood, you go through all kinds of like crazy mental things. Is a hard transition. So that
Sure.
kind of re-sparked something, some light inside of me. So Thor is the very first comic that I was gifted, and the
Wow.
very first comic that I continued reading on a consistent basis. So that's
Wow. That's very cool. That is so cool. Wait, so do you recall what Thor issue it was, or what series or writer it was from, or
it
anything of
was
that?
Jason Aaron, who is
Okay.
the best
The
writer to
best. Yeah.
me.
Yes. Love his
Oh
Thor
my
stuff.
god, I love him at Thor. So it was it the God Butcher? I feel like it was like the God
Like
Butcher
Gore. Yeah.
series. Yeah, I
Hmm.
feel like that was it, but I feel like I really locked into Thor's character with Malekith, because that was a
Oh, okay. Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
MFer. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I love
Absolutely.
Malekith. So yeah, Thor.
Very cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, Jason Aaron, man, that is like that's a great series to read. Whether it's the early stuff like you mentioned, like the God Bomb stuff from 2012, or I mean, he did like a 7-year run of Thor and going through Jane Foster and all this other stuff,
Right.
all the way up to the more recent stuff that he just wrapped up. And now I know he's toying around with some other Thor type of writing as well, which is cool. But yeah, I've always been a fan of his. So that's really cool. I didn't know that was. It's cool to hear like that's the book that kind of got you right back into it. And shout out to Prime for handing you that and getting you back into this, because here you are now. And so ever since you read that, I mean, have you been all in? Like, have you been picking up books on a regular basis since that moment, or did it take you some time to kind of
It took
figure that out?
time. It definitely took time. I did read Thor on a regular basis, and then but he was buying them for me. Like
Okay.
I didn't have the courage to go into the comic shop at that point in time.
Okay.
But it comes a point in time you got to put your big girl, undies on and step outside. So I made the brave trip down to the comic shop, because I'm like, if they have this, what else do they have? So I went in, by myself, all grown up, a little nervous, but so as I'm like going through the shelves, something just jumps right out at me, and I'm like, I need to read this. And it was Saga. It
Oh
was
yes.
Marco and Alana on the cover looking bad. I'm not going to
Yep.
cuss on your channel, looking bad
You're
and
good.
cool and in love. And I was like,
Yes.
yo, what is this? So Saga was the second series that I got into, and when I started going by myself and exploring comic book land. So, but of course, I kind of fell off a little bit, and then the world went nuts, and then comic books brought me back to life again. It just keeps saving my life over and over again. So yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. That is so cool. And it's cool. I mean, you mentioned Saga. I obviously know you're a big fan, and I've been following, the streams that you and the girls have been doing, and really enjoying all that. And I'm glad that you got into Saga the way you did. I mean, Saga to me was like, that was my first indie that I ever experienced, and didn't know that there was other types of writing out there in comics other than capes and heroes and things like that. So this was much different than I've ever read, and especially obviously like knowing all the MCU movies and stuff like that and seeing all the heroes. This was a different style, so that was definitely a nice, because I'll admit I can get tired sometimes, or fatigue, I guess you can say, of superhero stuff from time to time. Sometimes if I overdo it, I need some time to read some indies, and that's why. And I know you and we connect on some of the indies as well. So I just love that Saga was one of your first ones to really pull you in, and get you introduced to like going to the shop and buying books and doing that whole process, because that's a huge part of why I love this hobby too, is just going to the shop week to week, seeing my LCS owner, talking to other people in the store, coming home, showing off the books that I got. All that fun stuff comes along with it. So cool to hear how you kind of got into that. Before we go any further, I see two amazing super chats here I want to highlight real quick. Certainly not ever necessary, but thank you so much. We got a $20 super chat from Something Wong. Dude, my brother, man. Thank you so much for that. Not needed, but thank you. I really appreciate you doing that and just tuning in. Something Wong has been a supporter of all YouTube channels and all comic book content. I feel like he's in everybody's chat. He's always commenting, leaving comments on people's Instagram posts and things of that nature. The man always reaches out. If you talk with him, he's always open to talking back. So I want to just take a moment to say thank you for that, man. I really appreciate it. And of course, with this super chat, I got to play a little video, a little something fun. So let's do what do I got here? We'll do this one right here. Babe, I know I just bought a really expensive comic book, but hear me out. I am selling books too. So it's basically like I'm not spending anything.
Really? So what have you sold?
What have I sold? I'm going to sell. I'm saying I'm going to start selling is what I'm saying. That's my excuse, gonna start selling.
That is the first way. I'm laughing for two reasons. Not laughing at you, but that's the first time I saw your hair. I was like, I've only ever
like,
seen you
that?
with hats on. So I was like, first I was like, oh, that's just with hair. Oh my god.
That's my
Oh my god, that was cute. I'm sorry.
Yeah, shout out to Lady No Good for doing that with me, that film. But Wong, man, thank you so much. I appreciate you, brother. And there was I got another super chat again, completely not necessary, but thank you so much to my man Rod, just a Rican in his comics. Another $20 super chat. Rod, man, you're the best, man. I really appreciate you. Everything that Rod does for this community as well. I've met so many people thanks to this man right here because of his shout out shows that he does every Sunday. And he's just just like I was saying, like a supporter, very much like Something Wrong, where he's just always in people's chats. Always talking to people, a diehard fan of comic books. So, and Rod is someone I had on this channel a while back. So, that was a lot of fun as well. And just appreciate you, Rod. So I'll play one more video here. And again, thank you, Rod, for that super chat. Let's see what else we got here. Where's all my videos at here? Here we go. I was wondering if maybe you had a little time to talk about a comic book with me.
Babe, I'm so stressed today. I have so much work to do. Can we talk about this another time?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. I get it. I will, I'll call one of my friends and, see if they're available to talk about Batman. Thanks. Hey, what's up, Mom? Yeah, it's me. Shout out to the mom.
I wasn't expecting that. My mom would be like, what?
Batman, what? Rod, again, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Thank you guys for the super chats. So yeah, let's get back to this queue because yeah, I'm loving what I'm hearing here. I wanted to ask you about your during this whole time of you getting back into things and picking up books, were you following along with the MCU movies or any other, maybe the DC TV shows or anything like that, or were you watching anything back like in the 90s and things like that, like the cartoons, or did any of that play a part in some of your fandom in some of this stuff?
I wanted to just one shout out to Rod.
Yeah.
Only because I really want to thank him also. What you said about him being supportive, I believe he was the very first person who ever mentioned me on YouTube.
Wow.
And I didn't forget about that, Rod. I promise I didn't. And he asked that I want to come on his show, but I'm not shy. But when at that point in time, I wasn't ready to like step on the stage. I was just like, I don't know if I fit, so I thank him for even finding me and shouting me out and just inviting me on. And one day maybe I will be able to get back on. Maybe he'll send another invite. I'm ready this time, Rod. Okay. And then
there you go.
that led me to Puff and X, Y, and Z. But anyway, back to what you were saying. Yes. I think the first comic book movie that I remember actually going to the movies and seeing was It's So Lame, Fantastic Four from like way back in the day.
Oh, I like that old one. I like that older movie. I was a fan.
Terrible.
I just watched it like probably like 3-4 months ago now, but if it's on, I'll have it in the background. It is bad. I'll give you that.
Concept though. It was the concept of people just coming together for the greater good, like it was cheesy, but it just, again, it laid that seed in my mind, leading me back down this particular pathway. But I like the one that nobody likes, the one with what was that guy's name? Oh my God, he played Killmonger.
With Michael B. Jordan? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
did not see that one.
You didn't see that one?
No.
Everybody hates it. Me and Prime love it.
Okay. All right. I'll have to keep that on the list as something to watch down the road, because I should have. At that time I wasn't into comics when that was coming out, so I didn't really give it a shot. But that's interesting that you bring those up. Are you caught up, or have you been following the current MCU stuff? I'm just curious, since you're a fan of Thor and stuff, or not really.
The movies, the last one we went to go see was the Eternals.
Okay, yeah. I like the Eternals. I like that movie. I did.
All right. So you saw I did this and then I did this. Okay. So I have mixed feelings on the Eternals because I read the Eternals. All right. So Prime has a collection of original Eternals comics. It was gifted to him from his uncle. So he has like the ones like Jack Kirby, Root, and Illustrated. So I've read those. Okay. And then I started reading the new relaunch that came out, I guess, last year. I think they relaunched it last year. Yeah. So then when I go and I watch the movie, I'm like, okay, the thing with the movie was like, I feel like they were trying to appease two audiences at the same time. They were trying to appease the comic book readers and the people who like comic book movies.
Right.
And it was kind of like, it just kind of like got lost in the middle somewhere.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I saw that too. And it's got to be tough, right? To try to please everybody in that sense. Because you also got to please those who don't know anything about comics.
Right.
And because at the end of the day, that's the masses, right? You got to like be able to make just a general good movie, even if it doesn't necessarily tie into the books, because some people don't know, they don't know the books or they don't read the books. Right. So you're like tying all these like 3 different people in, or types, groups, and it's tough. But yeah, that's fair. I think that's a fair thing to say overall about the film. But that's good. So you've been keeping up though with some of the films that have been coming out over the years.
Yes.
Very cool.
I think we went to go see all of them. Yeah. Literally, I think we saw.
That's the best. They're always the best. If you can see them in theater, especially all the new stuff. Yeah, it's been great. I see a couple other people in the chat want to say a quick hello. We got my man JD, Raging Cajun Comics. What's going on, JD? We also had Sleepy Reader 666 in the house. My man Damien. Thanks so much for stopping by, Damien. Scrolling through here a little further. I'm sorry if I'm behind on the chat. I see a lot of people saying some really nice stuff, so I try to throw this stuff up as I go. Jay Hood also in the house. What's going on, Jamie? Thanks so much for hanging with us. All right, so let me ask you this, Q. How did you get involved with wanting to make a Instagram and YouTube channel, and what came first for you? And then kind of what led into this, like, the community and things like, and did you know there was a community? I know I'm throwing like 20
I
questions.
had no idea there was a community.
Yeah.
Because, all right, so originally I always give shouts back to Prime because he and I are a tag team. That is, like I said, my day one. We started out both of them together, the YouTube and the Instagram. And back then so he and I have these random, insanely complicated conversations about questions of the universe, aliens and life on Mars, and just like flat Earth versus round Earth. So we just have these long, drawn out conversations, and we debate. We go hard. Listen, we go hard, y'all. So we were like, you know what? We need to just like start recording this, like just so, because I'm sure other people had like similar lines of thinking or X, Y, and Z. So we originally started JRails, and that's why it's called JRails, because it encompasses, it's jumping the rails. We jump the rails over, just standard talking and standard talking.
I was wondering where this came from, so I'm glad that you're explaining this. I love it.
Because you saw my email is J off the rails, so it's like jumping the rails. All right, so we were just talking about any and everything at the beginning, and then Prime is like Insta famous. I don't know if y'all know, but he's like super Insta famous. He has like his own set of followers, and then I got busy with work, and then like I said, honestly, I know the world has been crazy, but this is one of the good things that came out of it, is that I had time to double back and find a passion and a hobby. And so I just dove hard into like vlogging and just like doing the Instagram stuff. And it's still him and me tag teaming, but now I know there's a community, I know there's a community of all these awesome people. Like I said, just so Rican and his comic shouted me out, which led me to Puff. And then Puff, we were on Puff show, and that led me to watching his show, which I found Princess. And from Prince, it's just like, it just blossomed out into this beautiful synergy of like wonderful energy. And I saw all these other ladies who were there and just waiting for somebody to like point at them and just let the world know how awesome they were. And I'm like, yo, we gotta do squad. We gotta squad up. And we got to do this. We got to show them that we like this stuff too. We know what we're talking about when we come on stage. So anyway, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I love it. I love this. I appreciate you sharing this. And I'm always curious, like, just how people kind of kick into wanting to be, streaming or put themselves on camera. I know it's not for everybody per se, but, so I'm always curious kind of what led to that. And then obviously you explaining, the name and things like that. I was always, curious about that as well. So very, very cool there. And you're right. I mean, same here. Like, I didn't know that there was community when I first got on. Instagram to me was, I started buying comic books. And I'm like, well, what do I do? I read these books. No one in my personal life was into comics. No one that I knew, no family member, nothing like that. So I had nobody to really talk to about it. So I just started posting them online, and I had to make my own Instagram account, because my personal Instagram account had all my friends and family and people from high school who wouldn't, they'd be like, why is Justin posting this stuff about, comics or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make my own thing. And I just started sharing. And then I started to see the same faces, like all my different pictures. I had the same faces start reaching out to me via DM, started having conversations about the books I was reading. And that's how it took off. I started to realize, all these people kind of know each other, and we all like the same thing, and we all post similar things, and this is cool, and just started to, talk to people that way. So I love that. And it's I feel like I highlighted you earlier about like how I feel like you really hit the scene strong. Because I feel I've joined the community since like 2018, like middle of 2018. And that was where I was like, brand new, just like finding my way. And so I've seen a lot of people come and go and different faces join. And I think the pandemic played a big role with a lot of, people getting into the hobby, whether it be for the first time or they're getting back into it because they took a break. So all this stuff, and I just had no idea any of this stuff existed. So it's a really nice thing to stumble upon, because I've made some amazing friends and friendships. And I know you have too, like just all these different folks, even just doing this, like you and I, we haven't met in person, but I feel like now if we ever did, like, we're just hanging out, we've been hanging out, in terms of watching each other's shows and things like that. I feel like I know you, I come up and say hello, it's not like some awkward thing.
Absolutely. I'm coming to North Jersey.
Yeah.
I got to get brave enough for the traffic up there.
It can get crazy up here. It can get crazy. Jersey in general can get crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I love hearing that, and I'm glad that you were able. I'm glad you stumbled into this community the way you did. And obviously, as you have mentioned, like everybody just welcomes everybody with open arms. So it's really cool to kind of hear how you got into this stuff. One thing I wanted to ask you too is how did you? Or sorry. Have you ever been to like a big Comic-Con before? Are you are you a Comic-Con goer, or have you ever even been to one? And if you have, do you recall like your first time ever going to one?
Yes. All right. So Prime and I went up to the Jarvis Center. We did go to the big Comic-Con.
Oh, nice. New York. Yeah.
His aunt got us tickets to go.
Nice.
That was a whole adventure going because New York is a whole adventure in and of itself. So it was great though. It was great. Just seeing everybody in like, their full like costumes. And we had graphic tees on. Like that was our first one. So we weren't prepared as much as we probably would be now.
Sure.
I'm going full like Yara Floor the next time I go back to one.
Yes.
But
I
we
love
just
it.
had
Yeah.
like graphic tees and stuff on. But it was great. It was a great experience. I think Prime has a picture with like Darth Vader or something like that. I mean,
That's so
it
cool.
was a lot of like Mockingjay girls walking around with the ponytail, and it was a good experience. I definitely want to get back up and go to another one. They have a horror con down here, but we haven't went to that. But I think this year I definitely want to go to the horror con they have down here.
Nice.
And we've been to a UFO convention. That was interesting.
Wow. A UFO convention. Wow.
Yes, that was fun and exciting. Listen, I am down to try almost everything at least once. So definitely go if you can. If you got one near you, you'll
That's
have
awesome.
a few interesting stories to leave with. For sure.
Very cool. I bet. That's so funny. So that's cool. So clearly you've been out to some of these over the years and things like that. And I need to get back to the big one, the New York City Comic-Con, because it's been a while since I've been to that particular one. It's obviously grown so much now, and it's not just comics now. It's so much more than that.
Yeah.
So it can definitely be a little overwhelming at time to time, but it's always a good time. So. Yeah. Very cool to hear there. A couple other people I saw in the chat I wanted to say. At first I saw Wong saying Jersey Hangout. Yes, yeah, we'll have that going down at some point. Raging saying Coast to Coast Brothers. Yep. Flash by Night in the house. Station to you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. I saw Coach Vic hanging out as well. What's going on? Strut up. Mark Robinson also hanging out in the chat. He says you'd be a dope Yara Floor. Absolutely.
I'm totally going to be Yara Floor. Exactly. Wait and see.
Anika, she's at the bookstore right now, but appreciate you hanging with us.
Have fun.
Candace is like, I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that is wild. It sounds wild.
It was a while. I learned about the Pleiadians and all that stuff. It was a fun time.
That's great. D'Anime in the house. What's going on, D'Anime? Good to see you, brother. Let's see people saying hi to people. Thunder Buddies for life. There you go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the books. So we've connected, like I mentioned, talk about our indies. I was twisting your arm to read Rain back when issue 1 was coming out, right? I'm still on that, still reading that. I enjoyed issue 3, by the way. So great stuff there. But I wanted to ask you, one, I love your setup, and I told you this even before we got on, but I always love how you have these books laid out in front of you. Again, appreciate that you're a reader, that you dive into these books, you enjoy talking about them. What do you have a book that's near you that something that means something special that you'd like to share today?
Yes, I do. Well, one secret, we were talking behind stage. I was like, I have these lined up so that I have to read them, so that they're in my line of sight, and I have no choice but to pick them up and actually read them. Yep. My stack is getting like way too big, y'all.
Same here.
All right, so this is the one that I picked. Can you see it?
Ooh, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Let me swap this here. Yes, that's the Thor stuff right there. God of Thunder.
This is Thor. So this is Malekith, Thor, God of Thunder, the Accursed Part 4. And the reason why I picked this one, the reason why it means something to me, my hands are so like lotiony. I hate touching this, but the reason why I picked this, and I hope it's okay if I do this, but I picked this one is because I did a true fangirl move, and I actually wrote to Marvel Comics. I wrote a letter to Marvel Comics, and they
I
wrote
love
me
it.
back, and they published it in here. So
Oh my gosh, cute!
I
That's so
know
cool.
I'll have to put it on my story later on, so you can
Yes,
actually see it.
you
But
need to do that. That's so awesome. I
I
love
know
it.
I was so excited, and it says, well, I go by my middle name is Lenice, so I titled it Lenice from South Jersey, and
Love it.
it's in there. So I'm gonna take a picture and put it on my story, so you know that I'm telling the truth. I'm not
Please
just
do.
like I'm just not making it up and pulling something out of the hat.
Somebody check her. Somebody check her.
Fact check, right? But
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why this is like, and this is around the time when I first started reading comics. So it was like, it's just like when you're in the chat on like YouTube and like people call you out and put your name up there, you feel like
Mhm.
you're part of the experience. So it was like for me to write a letter, all goofy and stuff, all goofy and geeky, and
Yeah.
for them to like write me back and like comment on it, I was just like, I had the big like heart eye emojis, and I don't know, it was
That's
just.
amazing. That's so cool.
And to see it published, I was just like, oh my God, that's me.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. That is really cool. It's one, I mean, I want to make sure I think I have that issue. Now I have to go back and what number is it? What issue number?
This is
That-
Thor God of Thunder, the Accursed Part 4, and this is, I guess, Thor number 16 overall.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'll have to see if I have that because I was for a while, or even now, still, I'm trying to collect that first 25 issues of that run. So that's been a goal of mine. So I have to see if I have that one in particular. But I think it's so cool because one, I mean, it's just obviously a special moment. And not many people can say they're published in a book. Let alone a book that you mean so much to you. Like this is a book you've been reading, Thor. That series, that character is really cool. I will admit I had done that with some of the Aftershock books, where you can like tweet a review and they'll put you in the So I had that back when what's that series called? Not The Bronx is Burning. That was the second set. The Bronx is Burning. It was the guy that was like like Jason the Killer. What's his name? Oh, Maniac. Yes. So I'm published in, I think it's like the second or third issue of the original Maniac of New York, the first 4 issues that came out. But I felt the same way. I'm just like, oh my gosh, they published me, and they used my quote like multiple times. So I'm in a few other books now too, just because they've taken and it's just as No Good Comics or whatever. But I like that they do that. I like that Aftershock does that. And it's cool that you wrote to Marvel. I think that's awesome that they took your stuff. I really should do that more often because it is cool. It is a cool thing to kind of have as part of that. And that's like your book now.
The original brown paper bag.
I love it. Dedication right there. The true collector. Well, that's very cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that and for showing that off. Because not like I said, not many people can say that they're published in a book, Marvel book. And I want like reading like a lot of the classic stuff. I like to always take time to read those letters. So, and even now, like if there's some in there, like I'll take a little time to read some once in a while. So it is cool to kind of gives perspective of the times as well, depending what what the issue is about or whatever. So, you're getting a lot of love here too.
Aww.
Oh, totally. Thank you, brother John. Appreciate that, man. That is really cool. I totally agree. Phil, thank you. Yes, Maniac of New York. When my mind, all I kept thinking was the Bronx is Burning, because I know that's the secondary issue that came out. But yeah, definitely cool there. So I want to get into so I wanted to ask you this. So I know you're buying books on practically a weekly basis, right? And that obviously that list grows more and more. Yes. What's the big picture for you and your collection down the road? I mean, what do you see yourself doing with these books at some point? Because obviously, I mean, even from my own point of view, like my boxes keep multiplying out of nowhere, and I'm running out of room. So do you plan to keep all these long term? Do you plan to pass them down to family members, or maybe sell a few, or you taking them to the grave with you? What does that look like for you, your collection right now?
Taking them to the grave. Okay, so you are totally correct. In 2 ways. I'm running out of room. I told Sheena before, I have a closet and I have like stacks of like boxes, and the spiders are there, and I don't want to fight the spiders right now. So the spiders are keeping them warm. Number 2, in real life, I don't really have a lot of friends or girlfriends that are into like comics and stuff. So I can't like, pass them over to share. But
Sure.
what I really want to do, and I do this with my clothes too. Every once in a while, I clean out my clothes closet. I give it to my mom, and I ask her to give it to people that she thinks are in need. I don't give it to the Salvation Army and stuff because they're going to resell them, and I
Sure.
want people to just have them, just
Have
to
them.
have them.
Yeah.
I don't want
Totally.
I don't want people to make a profit off of it. And
Yeah.
I think that's what I really want to do with that. Those boxes of comics is at some point go through, see which ones are still in good condition that the spiders didn't, tear up in there. And then I want to donate them to a library, but I would like to
That's cool.
make sure that kids or a school or something actually get them, because Keisha, she was on the show a couple days ago, and she said that's how like she teaches her students. And immediately I just loved her from that moment, because I always had in my mind that at some point I would box these up and like take them to a library or find like a school with like a reading program or something,
Yeah.
or after school program, and donate to them, because I feel like kids want to learn, they want to read. You just have to connect with them on the right level.
Totally.
And I really do think comic books can save the world. So I feel like this is another way that they can save the world. So that's my vision. I'm sorry.
I love it. Don't apologize. No, this is awesome. And I love comic books can save the world. I love what you just said there. And yes, like one of my things, like I want to see this community grow. I want to see the fandom grow. And as other audiences come in and kids start growing up and getting into this stuff, I'd love to see more, kids getting into this stuff. And, it's a different world that we're in right now. So it's tough, especially, the movies are so big, and I'm hoping like the movies introduce people to this, and to some degree they have, but I feel like the movies could be doing a better job of like highlighting books and saying like, hey, did you know this story originated from a comic, like all this stuff. Right. And so, but I think that's a great way to go about it. And especially as you're running out of room and certain books you're okay with moving on and passing on, passing to your library is an awesome way to go. So I love that. And anything to get people more involved in reading these books and at a free cost. Because I mean, you and I both know this is not necessarily a cheap hobby in any sense of the imagination. So certainly can hurt the wallet. Yeah.
I work 90 hours a week to afford my comics.
just to keep the books coming in. Yeah, no, I hear you. So yeah, I love that. Really great stuff there. So one thing I want to ask you too, before and then I'll switch gears and get a little bit more into some of the rapid fire stuff. But I wanted to talk about, as we talk about new readers here, do you have any advice or what advice comes to mind for someone who's new to this hobby? Someone who might just be on the outside looking in. Maybe they're just considering going to a comic book shop for the first time, or they're just considering reading a comic book for the first time. And it can be intimidating. Joining this community can be a little intimidating because so many people show off all these awesome books and all their collections. And, there's FOMO and all this other stuff. There's a lot of different emotions that go into this hobby. Do you have any advice to somebody who might be like brand new to this hobby?
First of all, have a budget, because you will definitely like, God, just chuck money. But on a serious note, don't be afraid to do what you love, like don't be afraid to embrace what your true passion is. And I say that because originally when I started, other readers didn't look like me, you know what I mean? And like that really intimidated me. But I am a fighter, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go out there and I'm just gonna shine bright, and I'm gonna tell people just to love their passion. And comic books became my passion, that no matter what, even if you don't have people in your life who aren't into it, you love it. And that's what's most important, and when you love something and you're passionate about it, the universe will send other people who are just as equally passionate and supportive of it. So I just want to tell people, don't be afraid to step into that comic shop. Don't be afraid to read something that is outside of your sphere. Some of us grow up in closed atmospheres, but comic books are a great way to see what else is out there in the world, and a great way to connect with other people in the world and their experiences. So I don't know, I'm long-winded, but long story short,
this is great.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step outside of that shell, to move the shell out of the way and really just see what else awaits you on this comic book land journey.
Yes. No, I love that. I absolutely love that. And it's just like, again, and I'm hoping, I like having this segment because there are a lot of people that are either they're just getting into it, or maybe they're just, they don't want to admit that they're newer, or like I said, it can be intimidating with a lot of other people who have not, bring all this different knowledge and stuff. But to just stick to, like you're saying, kind of, what you love, what brings you joy, and surround yourself with those who give off those same positive vibes, I think is huge. So I love that advice, and thank you for sharing that, because that's something that I'm always trying to bring advice to just anybody who, I mean, I'll take that advice myself even, and I've been reading, like it's for everybody. So I try to have something on this show where it's that can help everybody. So and like you said, don't be afraid to step into that shop. Like, absolutely, it can be overwhelming, yes, but that's why you can talk to your LCS owners. The people that work there usually can help you out, or even just other people in the store usually are always willing. That's one thing I've learned from this hobby, is like the hobbyists of this is everyone is so like, they want to help, they want to give advice, or they want to guide, in certain directions. And so, it's really great what you're saying there. And I see some love here in the chat I wanted to highlight. Going back to the other question too, Inja said, I love how graphic novels are becoming a big thing in children's books right now in the public libraries and school libraries. Great point, Inja. Let's see. Mark says, Ultra got me feeling like a piece of crap. I'm trying to slab my keys in hot covers. Mark's a slabber. That's all right, Mark. Okay. It's all about how you collect, man.
Yeah.
Flash talking about comic books and save the world. Sincerely a slogan to live by. Absolutely agree with that, Flash. Inja said, I'm never afraid with you, Q. There you go. Phil, geek responsibly. Absolutely. Absolutely. Be long-winded, Q. We want to hear all the words. Yes, absolutely. So we had I saw a couple comments saying they want this show to be a 3-hour show, or an 8. I think Sheena said make this an 8-hour show or something like that. make
I have to eat, guys.
Yeah.
If you know me behind the scenes, it takes me forever to eat lunch for some reason. So.
So funny. Michelle says she has to catch the replay. Appreciate you, Michelle, for hanging out for a bit. Absolutely. Let's see, scrolling through here. Same with Anika says definitely going to catch the replay multiple times. There you go. Yeah, just rewatch. If you want your 8 hours of Q, just watch this, 8 times. You'll be good to go. But let's see, scrolling through here. Let's see. What is this? It says because of the I'm functioning off the chat. Off of the chats. Don't know what's going on the live. Oh, okay. So she's just tuning in briefly here. Anika. Yeah. Cool. So Q, let's we're coming up almost on the hour mark, and I wanted to make sure that we had some time. So I want to dive into some of the this or that's and the rapid fire question. I always put in parentheses rapid fire because they're not really rapid. Okay. And for those who watch the show regularly, you might know, like, my girlfriend calls me out on this. Like, every time I ask these questions, I usually ask people to elaborate on things. And so that immediately takes out the rapidness from it. Cause I'm like, oh, you picked that. So why that? Right. and she's like, it's not rapid, right? Rapid's like, next one. Like, right. I know. So I'm getting better.
I'm nervous though. I don't get nervous. So you got one up on me.
Don't be nervous. This is fun. So, all right. So let's dive into this. And again, we got 25 people. Shout out to the chat right now. Shout out to everybody who's watching this, or if you're watching the replay, thank you so much. If you're not following Q, if you don't know Q, make sure you are subbed up to her. Put her information in the description below. There's Ragin. They're not rapid, Justin. I know, man. I'm trying to get better.
I'm trying to get better.
Yeah. Just take it day by day, JD. That's all I'm doing. All right, so let's start it off here. If you could pick one character, Q, who is your favorite comic book character of all time? Who comes to mind?
God.
This is where all the answers go right out of your head.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna go blank. All right, so I'm going to pick. I'm going to say honestly, and this is a true answer, Yara Fleur. And the reason why is because, like I said, when I was getting back into comics, I'm not DC Nation. And I was not DC Nation because I just felt like I couldn't connect with a lot of the characters. But when they came out with Future State and Nubia and Yara and Future Wonder Woman stepped on the scene, I was like, oh my goodness, who are these ladies? I want to read so much more about them. And like I said, I love Nubia, but I click so much with Yara because she is spicy and
Yep.
sweet and smart and just like wild. And she is just always down for adventure. And I was just like, that is my soul sister right there. So, like I said, I was telling you, I was like, I don't know if I want to date her or be her or a little bit of both, but Yara is absolutely my number one. She always comes to mind because I feel like that would be me as like a comic book carrier
I love
character.
it. I love it. No, it's great. And I know we were talking about it even backstage too. And it's cool. It's cool because she's a newer character, right? She has not been around the same as Wonder Woman or, you know, these others that have been, you know, over, 50 plus years or whatever. So it's cool that comic books are coming out with new characters that obviously people are resonating with and are like you said, now you're reading DC. Now it's got your attention, you know?
Yes.
So I love that. Yeah, I was laughing here. Rachel said, there goes the rapid. It's what happens. It's all right. Big Herm saying the not so rapid. Yeah. Yeah. So no, I love that answer. Great pick. So with that, I'm going to also ask you if you could name one of your favorite villains. Who is your favorite villain? Somebody that comes to mind.
Oh, Dr. Doom. He
It's
is
a great one.
and I know that sounds cliche, but I'm being so sincere because I feel like at his heart, he doesn't want to be a villain. I really feel like he's just a misunderstood character.
Yeah.
He's too smart and too ingenious and too powerful for his own good. And through a series of events, he became mostly a villain, but he has these moments when he really does become more of a dark hero. You know, I didn't realize that Valeria, which is Sue and Richard Reed's daughter, is named after the love of Dr. Doom's life. I just recently read that somewhere, and I was like, oh wow, that blew my mind.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
And even in Dark Ages that's out now, he's actually a hero in Dark Ages.
Yeah, he's on the good side. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Dr. Doom because I really feel like he always wanted to be a hero, but through happenstance, he just became a villain. So
yeah, no, I love it. That's a great pick. He's definitely one of the best. All right, let's see. Who's if you could have one superpower, what would that superpower be?
Oh my goodness. I would like to be telepathic.
Ooh, okay.
And I would like to be telepathic. I'm a little empathic, but I would love to really be telepathic because I always want to make sure everybody is in a good place. And sometimes to, help them move to whatever good place they need to be, you have to get into their mind and really understand their experience. I feel like most people just want somebody to listen and understand their experience. And, that is like the biggest help in the world. So I don't know. I just want to save the world. So I feel like I can save the world through telepathy.
Absolutely.
By helping people just love themselves, love on life, and just be their best self. So
I love it. It's a great answer. No, it's a great answer. Great. And let me ask you this: Have you ever have you been keeping up, or did you read, because it ended now, the series called Moths? Moths. It was an AWA Upshot book.
I started was it Resistance Rising? I believe Resistance Rising.
It's like
was like the side storyline to Moths. So I did not get a chance to finish those because AWA is really hard to find sometimes in the local comics. Like even the Fourth Man, which is I believe AWA, I'm really into that. And he didn't have that. I had to order that. Well, I had to pre-order it. And then that's when he started carrying it. So I kind of fell off on those because they just weren't like regularly available when I went in. And I didn't always feel like doubling back to reorder them. So,
that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, if you get a chance at some point, because I think it's coming out in trade. If it's not, it might already be out on trade now. Check out Moths, because of what you're describing just makes me think so much. The main character in Moths is so genuine to wanting to use her powers to save the world. And it's not just, her powers aren't just some typical, strength and flying or anything like that. It's a very unique, and I won't get into the details because I think if you read it, you'll really appreciate it. And it goes along with a lot of what you just said as part of like you wanting to save the world and the superpower stuff. So just something to keep in mind for you. Yeah. It's a great read. You don't even need to read you don't need to read the tie-ins or anything like that. I haven't. I hear they're good, but yeah, you could just jump into them all. It's like 5 issues altogether, so it's not too long either.
Okay, I'm gonna get that.
Put
You're
it in the
a good
queue.
recommender. You are definitely a good recommender.
I try.
At first
I try.
I was like, I'm not gonna read Rain. It sounds sad. I was like, Justin, I don't read anything sad.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's sad?
Just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. There's hope. There's hope within this, you know? Yeah, I love that. A couple other folks in the chat here. Evolutionary Comics, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Also saw my man Erod212. Good to see you, Erod. Got to hang out with him last week as well over at King Con. Let's see. I think I caught up with everybody, but I see some more folks just hanging out in the chat here. Really appreciate that. Talking about Doom, I said read Mark Brooks' Secret Wars. Doom and Valeria played a big role. That's good to know. Okay. Talking about the Doom stuff there. Yeah. Yep. I see some people saying hi to Nigel. Did I miss him? I did. Desired Comics in the house station, brother. Good to see you. He's going to catch the replay. I saw him at King Con too, man. That was another good one. So always a pleasure to see you, Nigel. So let's see. Candace says, Justin is the king of Rex. I have a list miles long of recommendations and of comics and TV shows. This is true. Candace, I've given Candace a lot of homework, but she's thrown stuff my way as well. So it's mutual. It's mutual recommendations along the way. All right, let's see. Let's keep this going, Q. So next question here. This is gonna be tough. I think this is gonna be tough for you. Not tough. It's gonna throw you off though. What was the last comic book you read?
Oh my god! What were we talking about? I said I read like 99,000. All right, wait. Give me a second. Oh geez. New Masters. All right.
What issue? Issue 2? Issue 1?
Issue 2. I just recently read New Masters. Nice. Issue 2. I'm really loving that series. I feel like again, I'm finding now issue 1s are okay, but issue 2 is when the writers really come alive with what they're trying to do. So I'm gonna say New Masters is the most recent one I read. Yep. And then there was one before that Phil and I literally just talked about, and I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry, Phil, but that was the one before.
He'll leave it in the chat.
Just to be on purpose, you know.
He'll leave it in. All right, I got a couple curveballs, but there, you're doing great. You're doing great. All right, next question. What is your favorite superhero film of all time, or I should say, comic book based film of all time?
This one is I can't remember the exact name, but it was it not Endgame? What was the one that came out before Endgame? Endgame was the last one that summed everything up, right?
Infinity War was before
Infinity War. I'm gonna say that was my favorite one because, like I said, we have been watching them all the way from Iron Man. Well, even before, like I said, Fantastic Four, which is not really a tie-in,
right?
But kicking off the whole vision that Marvel did when we started with like Iron Man all the way from, if you were with it from Iron Man all the way through now, just to see all of those characters that you've been loving on and following and being excited to see, and all the actors who portray them so well, and just to see just that massive, one push to save humanity moment, like when they were on Wakanda and they had the shields and Bucky got his new arm and Cap looking all cool with the shortcut and the grizzled look and just I'm like, oh my god, it was just, I really was in there like
so good. I am with you.
It was so good. Endgame not so much, but Infinity Wars, absolutely, that first one, oh my god, it was just the most amazing movie I ever seen in my life. Really.
I love it.
Star Wars, the original Star Wars.
Okay. Well, that's classic too. What I liked about Infinity War too was like it was so different than other movies because the good guys lose essentially. So it's like I remember leaving that theater, and I remember everyone in the theater was like dead silent, and they were just like, "What? Like that's how it ends?" Right. And it kind of reminds me of you mentioned before, Dark Ages, which is the current stuff with Tom Taylor. kind of that first issue of Dark Ages also reminded me of that movie, because it's like it
Mhm.
shows you the bad guys are winning, or the situation that's in the world right now is not good, and the
Right.
good guys are losing. So
Right.
yeah, definitely hits home. And like you said, you get to see all the different characters that you've been building up, or the MCU has been building up. So it's really nice to do that too. So great pick there. I want to say a quick hello to Alan, Climbing Comics, hanging out with us. I missed E-Man before. E-Man's been with us. Just want to say hello to E-Man. He also said Infinity War. Thank you, man. And Philly said The Fourth Man. That was the book. So there you go. He's got you. All right, let's see. Keeping this going here. Actually, we'll do a couple of this or that. So this is some comic stuff, some non-comic stuff, and I'll just start with this. So if you had to pick one, Batman or Daredevil, who would you prefer?
Oh, which Batman though? Be more specific. Which Batman? Which
It's just
version?
Batman or Daredevil, because there's a lot of Daredevils too. That's tough in general. But just the
Oh,
character itself, what he
okay.
stands
I'm
for.
gonna go with, oh goodness. I'm gonna go with Daredevil. Because Batman is conflicted. Daredevil is pretty much like he knows why he's doing this, and he just wants to save the day. Nothing else other than that. So I'm gonna go
Love
with
it.
Daredevil.
I'm down with that. What about Harley Quinn or Poison Ivy?
Ooh, Poison Ivy. She's just so
Okay.
sexy. I love
Yeah.
it. Oh
Heck yeah.
man.
Heck yeah. Let's see. I see. Yeah, Philly Phil saying Daredevil for the win. Big Herm always gives me two answers. He knows how to give two answers. Batman, Daredevil. He was on this show a while back, and he would just give two answers. He's a pro at that.
I wish I could have picked that. Can I change my answer?
No, you can't change your answer. Steve saying all day long. All right, let's see. Next one up. I'm gonna go with James Tynion or Ram V. Which is your favorite writer of the two? James Tynion or Ram V?
Tynion. I'm saying it all wrong. Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry for saying your name wrong.
Tynion. I messed up.
I'm gonna say Tynion because he just has this way of looping you into these storylines. Even the ones like people say that his storylines get stalled, but it's a cerebral thing, it makes you go, what if, but not in the Marvel sense, but like what if this really is gonna, and your mind just like wanders off like Department of Truth and Nice House on the Lake. He just has a way of wrapping you in these really
unique,
thrilling, dark fate kind of like scenarios. Yeah,
totally. I love that pick. And it's tough because obviously Ram V, he's doing some great things as well. The Many Deaths of Layla Starr is one of the ones that always comes to mind for me. But Phil's with you here. So is Inja. They're with you here. That's a tough one too. Evolutionary Comics, Tynion or Cates, Donny Cates. I think I still go Tynion if I had to choose. Let's see. Let's go to Jenny Frison or Jen Bartel covers.
You've got me on that one because that is my weakness. Like I am not good at like the art. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm fairly new, so
that's all right.
To be more specific on.
I got you. No, that's all good. It's all good. Let me ask you this: would you prefer a day at the beach or a day at a Comic-Con?
Oh, the Comic-Con, because I don't like sand. So
there you go. That's easy.
A Comic-Con all day.
You're like, I got that one. That's an easy one. Let's see, Pepsi or Coca-Cola?
Oh, Pepsi. 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 No. You know why? Because Pepsi makes you want another Pepsi and then another Pepsi.
Well, that's dangerous. That can be dangerous. Let's see, pizza or cake?
Pizza. Oh, yeah. Nice deep dish. Yes.
I'm with you there. Ooh, I just had deep dish for the first time, actually. I actually had it delivered from Chicago here. How crazy is that?
Listen, I've had the same thing. The place that gives me my bi-weekly stipend, they had pizzas shipped in from Chicago.
That's awesome. Yeah,
it's a totally different world.
Totally.
From like that kind of deep dish versus whatever we're eating here.
Right.
Totally different. Like that's a
Yep.
whole meal. Like they
Yep.
made that thing a meal.
Yep. 100%. 100%. Yeah, yeah, Candace knows. She's from Chicago. I was telling her
Yes.
about it. Philly says Coke with rum. That's fair. That's a good one too.
I've had that
That's
before.
from
Yeah,
Captain
it's yummy.
Pizza. Yeah, no, great choice there. Great choice. All right, let's see. Let me go through a couple others. I think I got everything here. I want to switch it up a little bit because I know we're hitting that hour mark. But I have a couple other questions for you, Q, and then we'll wrap things up. If you have anything coming up, you can highlight that before we wrap up, and then we'll get everybody out of here. So let's talk a little bit about music. Have to, and we're kind of out of the this or that segment, so you're safe. You're good. You did a great job. This is just about you, and it's not necessarily comic book related, but just more of learning about your background and what you're into. So let's talk about music first. Where do you stand with music? What's your favorite genre, if you have one, and what is your favorite artist or band or group, if you have one?
Oh my goodness. All right. So surprise, surprise. I love Afro beats.
Okay.
I love the vibe of like Afro beats and trap rap.
Trap rap.
I can do trap rap and Afro beats like all day long. As far as like favorite artists, I mean, obviously the standard people that are running around right now. But yeah, if I went to like Friday night, Saturday night, Monday morning, a Tuesday lunch, like that's my vibe right there. I
Nice.
love the energy. I love the flow. I love how them thumps get in here. So
Yeah. I love it. Are you a big fan of going to actual like live shows or events or anything like that? Or
absolutely. And
yeah.
unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to go in the last couple of years, but there is a big one coming here to Wells Fargo, and I did get a ticket to that. So it's going
Nice.
to be Lil Baby and a whole bunch of other people. So
Nice.
it'll be my first concert in 2 years.
2
So I'm
years.
like
Yeah.
so hyped for it.
That's
so
awesome. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I've been able to go to a couple concerts here and there recently, ever since like the long, the pandemic stuff. So it was, it's been nice to get out a little bit more and be just back in that environment of
Right.
music. I love music in general.
Yes.
I could listen to anything. So yeah, really cool there. And I also want to ask, are you in any way a musician of sorts of any degree that maybe people don't know about?
Yes, I was a very geeky, nerdy young girl. So I knew how to play the clarinet, the piano, and the saxophone.
Cool.
Many years ago, I should take it up again. I just haven't, but yeah, I used to be in like band. I used to do summer band and jazz band, and yeah, Q was pretty geeky back then.
Love it. That's awesome. No, that's so cool. That is so cool. I used to play piano. I mean, I've still dabbled in piano, but it's been a while. But that stuff's always fun. It was like in my family, like my family, ever since like my grandpa, he could play any instrument, pick up anything. And so growing up, we would see him jam out and we wanted to get in. So he'd teach us like, simple stuff. And then I tried lessons and all that other stuff. So that's cool. That's interesting. And again, this is why I like to ask, because like these are things not everybody knows about,
Right.
So Q all up in the music like this. I like it. I like it. Anika said, can we get a Q fan club shirt? There you go. Yeah, let's get them made. I'm with you.
Oh my goodness, Anika.
Candace said she played the clarinet too in grade school.
Girl, the reeds. She'll know about the reeds.
There you go. You're not alone. You're not alone. Wong said, I'll take my fan club shirt used. There you go, Wong. Thank you.
My God. I just got that, Wong. Oh my God. It took a second to turn over in my brain. God.
He said this one time at band camp.
Yeah, the true story.
Let's see what Phil said. I played percussion and with this girl's heart. Don't be playing with girls' hearts, man. That's funny. Yep. Anika's talking about the trumpet. Played clarinet for a year. That's cool. Yeah. And violin. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's really hard. Violin. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Candace said, ew. Yes, those reeds.
She knew exactly what I was talking about.
Oh no. All right, let's switch it up here. I want to talk to you about sports. Are you into sports? And if you are, what's your favorite sport? Who's your favorite teams? Who do you root for?
I I love all sport. I've been to all kinds of sporting events, but I love baseball.
Oh,
Phillies.
nice.
Phillies are unofficially my home team.
Okay. All right.
So I love going over to like Citizens Bank and I don't know, it's not even necessarily the it's the game, but it's the whole environment. You go, you get some hot dogs. They have the best hot dogs,
They
you
do.
like you go, you sit out. If it's in the summer, hopefully a cool
Nice
breeze
day.
comes by. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, usually go with like, your family or whoever, and you just talk. You're not no, most people aren't even watching the game. You're just there to talk. It's like being outside at the park,
Yeah.
literally, and just like watching people like just have fun. And it's just an energy. It's a relaxing, chill kind of energy. And in the summer, it's always like much needed for that familial time out. So I
Totally.
like, yeah,
I
baseball.
love that you just described that whole thing because that to me was probably the only thing I cared about baseball until I met my girlfriend who got me even more into the sport. Because I used to like never pay attention to anything really, but if I went to a game, it was always a great experience, and I still feel that way to this day. Like I'd love, this like I'm glad they're starting the season this year because it was delay. There was a lot of
Right.
delay. They were
Right.
trying to figure out contracts and all sort of stuff. So I'm glad we're going to have baseball, and I've talked to many others in this community, and I want to go to a Yankee. I'm a big Yankee fan,
Oh,
big now since I met my girlfriend got me into the Yankees. Like I didn't really care for baseball otherwise unless I was going to an actual game.
okay.
So now I pay a little more attention. I know the names of all the players, like just getting more involved with it, and have something to really root for now. And so it's always nice too to just have baseball on in the background for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason. That's just like something that I'm now used to. Coming home, it's like 7 o'clock, whatever, and the game's on or whatever. But I was telling the community like, we need to get like the community to a Yankee game together or whatever game, wherever everybody is, and just go to a game. How cool would that be if
Yeah,
like a
that
bunch of us,
would.
met up in the city or wherever?
Yeah.
So
It's so
yeah,
much more fun with a group. I mean, it's
yes,
good
yeah,
if it's like one on one, but it's
right.
something about going with a group of people to like a baseball game. Oh my God.
It's like a party. Yeah,
It is. It really is. It's a
yep.
great time.
I'm with you. Hey, we got my man Conlon in the house. What's going on? He says, "Let's go Mets." I don't know about the Mets, but I'll give him to you. Conlon, I missed him, but he was at the King Khan show as well last weekend. So, Conlon, he's a New Jerseyan as well. So, Conlon, I got to catch up with you
Hello.
soon, man. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Big Herm, he's a Yankee guy. I know he's a Yankee guy, baseball guy. Let's see, scrolling through here. I see people talking about percussions and everything else. Oh, yeah, there he is. There you go. Philly Phil played alto sax. There you go. Something wrong. There you go. The Yanks with the Yanks. All right, let's keep this going.
Oh my
Let's talk a little. Oh, so all right. So I got to ask you some of these questions. These are some fun
Yeah.
ones too. Well, one, are you a coffee person? And if you are, how do you like your coffee?
Coffee is life. Okay.
Yes.
Coffee is life.
I'm with you.
Oh, geez. All right. And sometimes I'm a coffee snob. I'm sorry, everybody. I Dunkin' Donuts or something is okay if I'm like
Yeah.
on the
If
run
you're,
or
yeah.
but I
Yeah.
like to I love slow drip coffee. I love ethnic
Oh,
coffee, like Vietnamese
ooh,
coffee. So good. Or like one of the high maintenance brands like Javalia or something like
ooh,
that. Oh
that sounds
yeah.
good.
Oh my God. I love the slow drip because of the grains are so much finer. You get so much more flavor.
Mm,
And with those, you don't really need cream. Cream is just like a dessert when you get
yeah.
like a really good coffee. So yeah, dark roast coffee for me, a
Yeah.
little bit of cream, and I'm happy.
I'm with it. I'm with that. I like that. Yeah, coffee is definitely life. I'm down with that. Definitely have need at least a cup in the morning. So great choice there. Bleecker Street in the house. What's going on, Bleecker? Thanks for stopping by. He says at work he's going to watch the rewind though. A few people saying make it happen for the community hangout baseball game. That would be cool. A couple folks down. That would be cool. Mark says he falls asleep to the Yankees and Mets games. I mean, I used to think that way too. At one point, I used to not be a fan of baseball, so I can understand that.
Oh my God.
But I do enjoy it now, much more so than I have in the past. Philly Phil says I like my coffee like I like my
Oh
women.
my God. Fill with
The taste of that bean, Steve
yeah.
says. Yeah. So all right, so let's keep this going here. If you're going to a movie, like going to the movies, what is your strategy with your food and drink? Like, how do you go into the movies? And that's everything from, do you bring anything in with you, to what do you buy at the stands, to, what do you like to have with you when you're about to watch a movie at the theater?
Okay, once upon a time, when I
Uh-oh.
wasn't so good.
When you weren't so good.
As long as there was like a Dollar Tree or a Dollar General, oh my God, stuff in the pockets there.
Heck yes, it's like it's $1, or you're gonna pay $5 for all this other stuff.
I've had cans of soda stuffed under here. I'm not as bad. I wasn't as bad as my aunt. She's not here anymore, but my aunt actually took a whole Wawa hoagie in one time.
Oh my God.
She just walked that sucker in and they just didn't say a word.
They didn't say anything.
I'm
great.
Better now. I try
I'm
to
better
do the
now.
right thing as much as I can, save the world and stuff. So now
we're not going to tell on you, Q. We're not going to tell on you. I do that from time to time still. You're not alone.
I do try to buy snacks at the concession now when I'm there. So
nice. Support your local movie theaters.
Yeah, definitely. Please.
LMTs, local movie theaters.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. So what kind of snacks? Like what are you going with, or what do you like?
Definitely popcorn, no butter. I don't like the butter.
That's fair.
It gets crazy with butter.
Gets all over your hands.
Yeah.
I understand.
So popcorn, no butter. Goobers, must have.
I love Goobers. I feel like not many people know about Goobers. So I like that you even put that out there. Goobers are. My dad got me into Goobers when I was younger. Like, Goobers are great.
Yes.
So yeah,
really
good.
My God,
Unique
those are my two go-tos. If for some reason they don't have Goobers, my good follow-up would be Raisinets.
Okay, I like
Raisinets.
I'm down with that.
And the one I go to, they actually have ice cream. So you can get a scoop of ice cream
if
you're really desperate and you really need something sweet and you just need to hype yourself up, while you're watching a movie. Don't give that to kids though, because we don't want to, them running around with the ice cream and stuff. But yeah, adults only for the ice cream. But yeah, those are my go-tos.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Mark says, Justin, do you only interview content creators? No, I interview anyone that's in this community. It's people that I've gotten to know over time. That's what this is about. People that I want to share, because I feel if I discovered someone cool, I want to ultimately introduce them to everyone else who I have already talked to who's cool, and say, hey, here's someone new that's cool. You guys should be cool together. So that's why I do the show, is I just try to highlight awesome people in the community. So thank you for asking that, Mark. But yeah, so definitely don't have to just be a content creator. I like the snack choices, by the way. Do you have a cool celebrity moment that comes to mind? Could be anything.
Oh my God. Wait, who? Oh, I do. It's not a well-known celebrity, but he's a YouTube celebrity, Instagram. His name is, Prime's gonna fall out when he hears this. Mike Rashid. He does he's a big workout guy. I'm not into that. Prime is into that whole workout stuff. Cool. But I'm totally not into that lifestyle. But he is. And we at the convention center, PA Convention Center, I got us tickets one time to it was like a big fit fest. I think that's what it was called, the fit fest. So they had the whole thing was decked out with activities you could do, and big time Instagram and YouTube workout people, and people from what is that thing called that everybody, CrossFit and all that stuff. So they were all there. And there's this guy that Prime follows, and his name is Mike Rashid. And I'm always like, I can't stand that guy. Da, da, da. So we get there, right? And there's a line where you can go meet him and take a picture. So I'm in line with Prime, oh, this guy. Man, we get there and I'm like, hi, Mike Rashid.
You're all excited.
Yeah, I think he still has it on his Instagram somewhere. And I'm like, with Mike Rashid, I'm just I just did a total 180.
That's so great. Prime, he remembers. He says, Mike is the homie. There you go. That's funny. That is funny. Yeah, I'm always curious. You never know. I mean, yeah, any type of celebrities, you never know. You always have these I feel like everybody has those moments with people. So it's cool. All right, this is a really random question I'm going to ask you, because it's a fun one. If you had to do one weekend chore, and you had to pick out of these three, what would you prefer to do of these three: clean the bathroom, cut the grass, or build an IKEA bookshelf for your books?
I've done all of those. I'm going to go with build an IKEA bookshelf because I need a new bookshelf for all these comics.
Oh, there you go.
I want to do like a new display behind me. So I'm glad you said that. Maybe that's the universe telling me it's time to get on that task. So.
Get the time for a new bookshelf cue.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. Yeah, that's a very random question, but I always found it interesting. So I'm curious who some people prefer to cut the grass or something like that. I don't like any three of them, but yeah, I'm with you. I would probably want to build a bookshelf just because I have books. So yeah. I guess that's kind of convenient in a way. How would you describe three elements that would fit into what would be a perfect day for you? What would three things be about a perfect day in your mind?
Sun. I love the sun. Oh my God. Sun is so important. Warm weather. We're in Jersey, so we get a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Good and bad.
Warmth. And a nice road trip. Like I love to like I'll drive usually. I'll meet you halfway. I usually go to like Mansfield, Jersey. It's just before Trenton. And there's like this giant park there. I love the drive. I love going there and just like wandering around in this giant park and just being out in nature and just communing with the universe. Like, oh man, that's a perfect day to me.
my girlfriend, Lady No Good, would love you. Like she likes going hiking, things like that, going out, especially if it's nice out, beautiful day. So yeah, I mean, Jersey gets those days. We get those nice days from time to time. So.
Sometimes.
I'm hoping, in our near future we get that going. It's a little rainy right now.
Autumn for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, we did. We really did. It feels like that for sure. I just hope that we don't get any more of the S word. I'm just gonna leave it at that. The S word. We don't say the S word. We're on to bigger and better things.
Yes.
Beautiful. Days out. Yeah. All right. A couple other questions here, then we'll wrap up because we're getting at that hour and a half mark. And again, everybody, thank you so much. 20 people still hanging with us. Let's see. Going into do you have a favorite? This is random. Do you have a favorite chain restaurant?
We were just talking about this in the group chat.
Yeah.
I said Applebee's. Okay.
All right. Isn't that bringing family together or something like that? Don't they say,
I like their ribs, their little riblet things or whatever. And I like their drinks are really good. I know you wouldn't expect to go to Applebee's and find a good drink, but my Applebee's, they mix it up good. Okay. So
I'm coming down to your Applebee's because I don't know. I don't think we get that around here. I don't know.
That's what everybody said. I'm like, oh, my Applebee's, they tear it down. Okay.
That's so funny. I love that. That's great. Let's see. Going into do you have a favorite season of the 4 seasons? What's
summer.
Your favorite?
I'm a summer baby, so summer.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Name your favorite board game.
Monopoly.
Ooh, okay, nice. That's good because look, a lot of people either love it or they're like F this game,
Monopoly.
So it's one or the other. I love Monopoly. It's always a fun game for me.
Monopoly.
But some people are like, oh, it takes too long.
Family wars. Okay.
Yeah, well, it will.
Yeah, because you got the banker who's hiding money.
They're stealing. Yeah. Making deals on the side.
Doing deals on the side. Everybody wants to be the banker. You got some people who's pass and go too many times. Okay, that's
I'll be playing with my cousins when we were kids. Yeah, when we were kids, I was playing with my cousins. And I'm like, you help me with my homework, and I'll hook you up with the extra 100.
There you
go. Something like that, just to get by. But no, that's a great one. All right, I think we have to. If you could go anywhere in the world, and again, totally safe, no pandemic. But if you could travel for an entire week, paid, free, for you and your family, whoever you want to take with you, travel somewhere in the world that you've never been to, where would you want to go?
I would want to go to. I would say the Mediterranean, and I'm not sure if I'm picking out the right place. It's kind of the place where like southern Europe and like North Africa meet, because I really love like Greco-Roman stuff, and I really love Egyptian stuff. So I would want to do like a real quick run
Yeah,
through of
do a
like,
whole loop. Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's good.
that. I would really love to do that one
I
day.
like that. I like that. I hope you do get to do that one day because that sounds awesome. Yeah, we had some people talking. Brown said that game starts fights for sure. Let's see. What Steve said, "Do not pass go," and just said, "Do you play regular Monopoly or
Yeah, there's
Monopoly?"
definitely a difference, Ninja. You know, there's and Uno too. Uno, there's like 9
Una.
versions of Uno running around.
Hey, we got Kevin in the house. Superpower review. Good to see you, my friend. I saw Bill in here before too. Bill, he was up in the chat before as well. Yeah. So, all right. Last question here, and then we're gonna wrap things up because we're kind of. So we have to end this with food, and of course, this is perfect time because I know you mentioned you haven't eaten yet. So this might torture you actually. Now that I think about it, because it tortures me. I'm usually getting hungry around this time, anyways. But if if it's a Friday night, or even for instance a Saturday night coming up, no particular plans, and you just get to pick whatever you want for dinner, what is your go-to meal for Friday or Saturday night? Like just anything you want, whether you cook or you go out to eat or you order in, whatever comes to mind for you.
Okay, so I have an alternate universe cue. So
Okay, go on.
so when she's out, not me, her, when she's out on like a late Friday or Saturday, her favorite go-to meal is, you probably have them too, crown fried chicken. Oh my God.
Ooh.
CFC is my
So
favorite.
I don't think I've ever had it.
What? That's
No.
where crown fried came from, is New York, North Jersey, and then it came
I've
down here. You gotta try it. You can't be at the originating spot and not
have
try
it.
it. Yes. But yeah, crown fried is really
That's
good. Their
awesome.
fries are always nice. McDonald's has nothing on crown fried fries, and their chicken is really good. Like I said, those late nights, it hits the spot.
Nice. Hey, you gotta have those. You gotta have those go-tos, especially for the late nights. I love that. That's great. It sounds great. Yeah, I've never had it. I will put it on the list though, Q. For you, I will put it on the list.
Oh,
And
yeah.
or next time I'm down in your neck of the woods, then we'll go there. That's where we'll go. And we'll hit up some comic shops and everything else.
Yes.
Let's see. Gore says, interesting interview. Justin, as always, Gore, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And everybody that's hanging out here, thank you all so much for hanging. Hey, there's my man Paul in the house, back-to-back issues. What's going on, Paul? Let's see. Billy says we play Section 8 Monopoly here. The chat is on fire. The chat is on fire today, I have to say. Yeah, it's great. So this was awesome, Q. This is these are the questions I had for you. You made it. You did great. Thank you for you being who you are. I really appreciate the things that you do with this community, the passion, as I said before, that you have for these comic books, the energy that you carry around with you, because that is contagious. You keep me going when I watch your videos and stuff. So keep being you, and obviously this may have been the first time I had you on the channel, but it certainly is not the last. I would love to collaborate again. Maybe we break down a book together or something like that. I think would be a lot of fun. But before we wrap things up, let the people know where can they find you, and if you have anything coming up, let them know about that as well.
Thank you so much, Justin, for the invite. Oh my God, you zoomed in on me. I had so much fun talking to you, and I hope Chatland had a great time too. You can catch me on Instagram, YouTube, JRails247, but it's not about me. It is about my homies and my homegirls, and we just have more wonderful things coming up for you. Prime and I are doing our cinematic recaps. He's working on one now. The ladies and I are going to do more saga coming up this week. Phil and I are going to do another showdown soon. You haven't met Roland,
Nice.
but Roland is a friend of Prime and I. He's going to be on soon, and we're going to talk about the Batman. So you can catch me on those particular, but again, it's not about me. It's about my homies and my homegirls. I just want them to come out and shine, and have a good time, chop it up, just talk about comics and movies and life, as Phil calls it, and have a good time in Chatland. And that's what it's all about. Okay, no zooming.
I No, I love it. Well said. Well said. And again, I put your links in the description below. So anybody who is not already following Q, make sure you do so. And don't just follow Q, but like reach out to Q, because Q loves comics, loves talking comics. And as I say, Q, love the content you've been putting out. So keep doing that. And that's it. That's I should clarify. I'm not going to have Comic Collector Origins this upcoming Saturday. I'm actually going to be hanging out with Haley, Shy Comic Girl. She's coming from Chicago to visit the area, so she's going to be in the New York, New Jersey area. So going to hang out with her and my man Jason, Clayman Comics. I think we're going to have some plans set up. So maybe do some hunting around the area. You know, I don't know about Q. I don't know about down near in your area, but up where I'm at, like I'm like 20 minutes away from like 8 different comic book shops. So I have a lot of options. So I was telling her, because she's visiting New York. So she was going to come over here. So I told her, I said, we can just go hunting on a bunch of different, you know, comic shops. So that's going to be the plan. So I won't be around here next Saturday, but I'll be back to the regular program the Saturday after that for sure. But again, Q, thank you so much for doing this with me here today. And we'll love, again, like I said, we got to plan something else, because I would love to have you back on the channel at some point. We'll do some collaborating. We'll talk some comics as we do. Everybody in the chat, shout out to all of you. Thanks so much for hanging. If you're watching the replay, you watching the replay, thank you for watching and taking that time. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. And everybody have a great rest of your Saturday/Sunday. The weekend is still here, so enjoy it, live it up, and hopefully we get some sun, as you were saying, Q. You know, maybe get outside a little bit. We'll see. Get that summer weather soon, you know. But again, thank you to everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody, and we are out. So we will talk to y'all later.